Shut up. Hey, everyone. It's Eugene and Cyrus for EG Live. We're doing the first episode, the first show for 2026. Has it hit you yet? Has it hit you yet that it's 2026 yet?
Last night, yeah, I was doing a stream and I was like, oh, 2026. We're not supposed to. This is too far in the future. This is not supposed to be happening.
Absolutely. What movie or show or whatever that was set in the future do you feel like when you remember hearing the date, you're just like, we'll never get to that. We'll never get to that.
Okay. Well, let me think. Transformers the movie.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It is the year 2005. And you're just like, wow, that's really far off.
I'll be old by 2005. That's crazy.
That was my exact answer as well. Like, I always think about that.
I remember the commercial for RoboCop when they were like, the year is 1997. And in 1997, good cops don't die. I'm like, wow, we're going to be advanced in 97.
Hell yeah. Well, we've got a good show for everyone tonight. Let's see here. Pardon me. So we've got quite a few updates to run through. So we're going to run through those. We had a couple other stories we want to talk about, and who knows, we'll see what else we decide to talk about. So hopefully, we'll get some people joining in the chat here. I don't know if you're the one person that's telling me this in the chat right now. I have a feeling if my boy was in there, we'd already get his well as well, but we'll see. So well. So I need to get him that shirt. So that's what it boils down to. All right. So first thing we're going to do is take a look at the fall winter movie game. This has not changed any at all. Like, these movies are pretty much locked in. I don't think anything else is going to catch it. There might be something that knocks off Tron Ares for the number 5 spot for like the most valuable, but the other ones are just like, they're so locked in. I don't think it's going to happen. Drunky Cheese is here. I thought Eugene was Cyrus' imaginary friend till now.
No, he is kind of imaginary in a way, though. Like, but Drunky Cheese is a good friend of mine. You know Drunky Cheese, right, Eugene?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I've ever met him.
Oh, he's hilarious. He has a channel where he plays games like for 4, 5, 6 hours at a time, sometimes longer than that.
Wow.
And he gets hammered. He's not called Drunky Cheese for nothing.
Fair enough. I will definitely have to subscribe here.
He's a good guy. He's a
good deal. Born Distracted's here. What does Cyrus Plus mean? I didn't even notice that.
I was hoping you would have noticed, Eugene.
No, I didn't notice. I just kind of glanced over it. So
everything's got to be plus now. It's like my Super Mega Graphics 64 Plus. I'm Cyrus Plus on regular Super Mega Graphics. I'll be Cyrus regular on plus, and then plus on regular.
Okay. Sure, why not? Do you think you're actually going to keep up with which one to type at what times?
No,
absolutely not. So, Drunky Cheese, Born Distracted, we were talking just a few minutes ago about what movie date, TV show or movie date do you remember hearing, especially as a kid, in a movie that you're just like, man, we will never get there. Like, that is so far in the future. We'll never get there. Cyrus and I both had the exact same answer. And it was the Transformers, the movie, when it literally starts off and it's like, it is the year 2005. And we're just like, that's forever. I'll be old when that happens. So
yeah, that's so far in the future. Yeah.
Although by 2005, I was married and had a steady job. I didn't have kids yet, but I was married. So I guess I was an old person at that point.
Are you saying 2005 has happened? I don't think so.
Yeah, you might want to check your calendar.
I don't think so.
Born Distracted said Back to the Future. Yeah, Back to the Future. That date was.
Oh, what was
crazy? Every time you get that thing, it's like, well, this is the date that they put in the movie, and you're just like, oh, okay.
What was the Back to the Future?
Holy shit! That's the problem, and that's the other thing is it always change. Like if you look at social media, it's like, this was the date. I'm like, no, the date was like years ago. Like, what are you putting on here?
And I know it was 30 years because that was the whole thing. Like 85 to 55. So that was the opposite. It was 85 to 95. 15?
1985 to November 5th, 1955 to October 21st, 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been a decade since the future in Back to the Future.
We're so far behind. We are so far behind. We're supposed to be flying through the air and have super accurate weather and
yeah. Oh my God, what else? Bro, happy 2016. Ram it in. Okay, yeah.
Oh my.
Distracted. There's last line. What's going on, dude? Yeah.
Some RAM has gotten more expensive, whereas some RAM has always been expensive.
Very true. You know very true. Hey, Bastarino's here too. So, all right. So let's go ahead and move on. This is where we had the big change, though. This is where we had the huge shift. Last line is here, and guess who is in the number one spot?
Great
in the game.
You know what? I think the game's kind of over at this point.
I know we got 2 more weeks. Yeah. So okay. So here's what happened. I did not realize. I thought a lot of people had picked other movies like what was it called? I almost called it Wicked Back for Blood. That is not the name of the movie. It is Wicked for Good.
Wicked Back for Blood. What?
I know. I don't know where the hell I got that title
from. Wicked 2: The Revenge.
I mean, apparently they're going to keep doing them. So, you know, maybe that's when they run across. But yeah, apparently a lot of people had the old Avatar on there, and it has not caught the other movies yet, but it's running through pretty quick. But yeah, Last Line's currently at number 1 at 525, Mike P at 523, Buzz at 508, Josh W 467, Bruce was number 1, he's at 464 now, Johnny's up from number 9, Cy is down to number 7. Chris and Ray literally are like $200,000 apart from each other. One had Wicked, one had what is the name of the movie? Zootopia 2, and I finally, for the first time in this game, finally cracked the top 10 at 249. But wow. I might be able to get up to the number 8 or 9 spot. I don't know. We've only got 2 more weeks. It depends on how Avatar keeps doing. It's doing well, but for the time frame of this game, it has not served me well. I also had a crap ton of points left over at the end of the game, so I screwed myself on that one too. So I'd pay money to see a hybrid of the Terrifiers franchises with Wicked. Okay, I have never seen those movies, but I've heard a lot. So
Retro Bros here. What's up, John?
What's going on, man? So yeah, that's our quick update on that. Some of the other stories we have for tonight, though, are pretty quick. So we're just going to kind of run through some of them. Let's see here. So the first one up, this is just our almost. I almost need to do a stinger for this, just like Warner Brothers update, because this is just going to keep going. And the only thing I wanted to throw in is it's just a funny little anecdote about it. So next week, Warner Brothers, if you don't know what's going on, just a quick synopsis. Warner Brothers was not up for sale. And then apparently some people were like, well, I would buy. Paramount said, hey, I would buy you for this much. And they're like, yeah, that's not enough money. But I wonder if someone would put up enough money. And so they started shopping it around. And Netflix is like, hey, we'll give you, I don't even remember what it was, $80 billion. It's some ridiculous number, $80-90 billion worth of stock and cash or whatever, if we can buy just the movie part. And Paramount came back and said, no, we won't give you more money, but we want all of it. And Warner Brothers went back and said, yeah, Netflix, we're going to go with that one. And Paramount freaked out and was like, well, how about if we give you even more money? And they're just like, we still kind of like the Netflix deal. The Netflix deal is safer. Well, anyway, they're meeting again next week. The board is meeting again next week, and they are expected to reject the newest offer from Warner Brothers. This time, it's the same amount of money. So they didn't come back with any extra money. This time, David Ellison, who is the head of Paramount, came back and said, what if my daddy promises to put up $40 billion of the $104 billion? And we're not giving you any more money, but what if he's willing to put it up personally? $40 billion locked in from Larry Ellison. And they're just like, nah, we're good. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they're basically saying, if you really want this, you're going to have to give us more money.
You know what this feels like? This feels like when you get when you're working for a company or wherever you're working for, and there's a job that opens up because somebody retires or leaves or something, and they kind of already know who they want to hire for that, but they still have to put it out there that it's open. And it's like, okay, you can come, you can apply, yeah, but we're still hiring the dude that we're
exactly, yeah. Because apparently, and then we haven't even gone into this. Apparently, there is some kind, like, they would lose a good chunk of change if they decided to reverse course and go with Paramount. But it's what it boils down to is they're like, it's cash and stock from a company that just keeps going up. You're offering us some cash and stock in what? Like, yeah. So kind of like Atari buying a television, question mark. I was actually going to liken it more to when you call the cable company, you're like, hey, listen, I'm changing services. And they're like, wait. But what if we gave you HBO for no additional cost? And you're just like, no, it's still cheaper over there. I could buy HBO and a thing and still be cheaper than what you're charging. But wait. What if we lowered your price? And then you're like, well, shouldn't you have lowered my price anyway? Like, what's the deal? Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting off of this shit. So
I actually just went through this with my apartment complex. I had to renew my lease, and I was ready to move because I just like, whatever. And I went in and told them, I'm moving, and they're like, what can we do? And I ended up re-signing with them for they were going to raise the rent. And I'm like, no, you're not going to do that. And after I talked to them, not only did they not raise it, they dropped it by $200. So,
which was awesome. When you told me that, I was just like, dude, you fucking won.
Yeah, for once.
Yeah. So last line's 100% correct. The main thing about the Paramount deal is it's a lot of financing tied to different partners, and Netflix is a very clean, very straightforward. Here's your money. This is where it's coming from. You know, some of the other stuff's a little questionable. So, more distracted. I don't care who buys it. Honestly, it's going to affect me one way or the other, because wherever HBO goes, not that I've been watching HBO, but like right now I have a deal that's HBO, Hulu, and Disney Plus. And so whoever buys it, it's going to be like, well, great. Now what's going to happen to that deal that I have? So, and if Netflix buys it, it will, like, even if they cut some of that off and add it to Netflix and it causes that to go up just a little bit more, fine, whatever. You know, as long as I'm paying about the same, I'm good. But whatever. So, well, anyway, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there because, like I said, that's just the last little part that came out here recently. I'm sure we'll keep talking about this in the future. All right. Some bad news. So before you get
to it,
go ahead.
A celebrity has entered the chat.
Oh Lord. What's going on, son? So yeah, we talked last time on this show, we talked about how computer prices were going way up and things were getting ridiculous. And Micron, who makes Crucial RAM, was backing out of making consumer RAM and was just going to AI. And since then, like, RAM prices have just like gone through the freaking roof. Last week, everyone thought we were saved. All of a sudden, this story comes out. Hey, ASUS is going to start making RAM. And everyone,
it sounds like you said, it's not like you said Jesus.
No, not Jesus. Yes,
like, why is Jesus making my RAM? What happened?
Right?
I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
He's just like taking like two DDR3s and taping them together. You're like, this will work. But yeah. So they came out literally that day and were like, no. That's not what we said. We're not making RAM. Unfortunately though, I mean, it sucks all the way around. Number one, just reporting has just gotten horrible in modern day, but there are some things that are so bad when it comes to reporting. Technology and science are two of the worst because you either have to dumb down the explanation so people can understand it, or they just don't freaking get it. And I think that's what happened. Someone was just like, you're making more RAM. You're going to save everything. And so they came out and said, yeah, we're not making more RAM. They actually stated they have no plans into going into RAM manufacturing. And even if they did, it would take them 2 years to spin up a manufacturing facility. and they have zero experience in doing it.
Right.
So can you imagine the failure rates?
Yeah, and that's assuming that things don't get worse with like availability of the stuff they would need and the costs involved and all the different things and this stuff and these kinds of things. I mean, it's yeah, anybody this is the problem. There's a lot of discussion right now going on about a lot of different things, and they're talking about delaying all kinds of stuff. And it's because nobody knows, man. This thing's out of control. It's like a snowball going down a mountain right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's getting crazy.
That being said, my boy who's in the chat there, Wolfus, actually, he right at Christmas, he found a 5070 and at Walmart that was on sale, and just barely cleared with all of his presents and all the deals and stuff he made with his brother and everything. So he got just enough money. So we went and bought it. So he's pretty clear at this point. And then I took his 4060 and put it in his brother's computer. And so now we've been able to kind of do a few more things. But I've got one upgrade I'm looking at doing. I'm looking at just doing going from a 5 to a 7 Ryzen wise. And but yeah, I'm watching it really carefully. And yeah, the motherboard was on sale like $30 off right now, which I'm just like, it's $30. It's not huge. But if that CPU starts to jump up at all, I'm just gonna like immediately jump on it and be done with it, because who the hell knows at this point. So I only know one person who pulled the trigger and is doing a full-on upgrade. It's our boy Lewis, and he dropped
I saw that.
A crap ton of money. He was like, I'm trying to get the what do you say, the courage to pull the trigger. And I'm like, the courage to pull the trigger, or the courage to tell your wife?
Well, dude, he waited too long, and this is as good as it's going to get for at least a couple of years. So he should have done it last year, but God, the money, holy crap.
Yeah.
How much did he drop on that?
Before tax, under $2,000.
Oh man.
Yeah. But like you said, here's the thing though. If you've been hurting or really wanting to do an upgrade, it's going to hurt, but you better pull that Band-Aid now, or pretty damn quick. Especially if you're looking for video cards or RAM. Like that's CPUs. I don't know how. Hell, I'm sure that will probably go up as well. But yeah, those are the two things. But yeah, it's not good, man. It is not good out there. So in fact, I think we talked about it last time on the show. Right now, a lot of people are saying, yeah, those pre-built systems that are sitting at like Best Buy and stuff. It's cheaper right now to go buy one of those just to do as a starter. Like it may not be exactly what you want, but it'll at least get your foot in the door at this point. Because if you start from scratch, man, it's going to cost you. So
yeah.
Let's see here. Bastarino, pull the trigger. I did during Black Friday weekend. It was only a bit more expensive than it was last build a decade ago. I wonder what you were building then, man. So, year and a half ago, yeah, 14700F for a.
I mean, if you get deals and you figure it out, maybe I don't know. It depends on what you're trying to do and what you did last time. Who knows? What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm just doing little steps. So.
Yeah, in the world of PC, building a computer could mean a lot of things.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
So, yeah.
But yeah, so just a little quick update on that. Apparently, maybe I should have another stinger for RAMageddon, because I have a feeling we keep talking about this one too. I kind of like that name. I don't like that it's happening, but I kind of like the name. So, all righty. All right. So this was a story that you brought to my attention. It was on your Discord. I think I actually watched this one, but I don't know if I actually I don't know if I wasn't paying attention to it or what, but we got on a conversation several weeks ago, and we were talking about retrobrighting, and we were talking about the idea, what should you do if you've got an older, console and it's yellowed and you want to do something about it? What's the best thing to do? Well, anyway, Tech Tangents posted a video updating retrobrighting. He claims it causes it to become brittle and re-yellow more than before. Let's just see here real quick. We're gonna add this to the stage. We're gonna do this. May not play the audio.
Hello.
We'll just go through here. But yeah, like he goes through and he talks about, he retrobrighted his system. He's got pictures here showing what it looked like before and after.
The Dreamcast has been sitting for 10 years. Okay. He did the Retrobright, but never put it back together and had it sitting in the same spot for 10 years. So that's
Lord, commercials.
Are you not paying for YouTube Premium?
I'm doing this on my other accounts. The problem.
Okay.
Well, believe me, I'm doing it. That's why I was just like commercials.
Yeah,
So like,
he what are these? What?
He breaks down the science and talks about it and everything else. So, but yeah, go on. You were saying.
Oh yeah, I just was saying, for context, what the reason he was able to do this evaluation was because he had this Dreamcast sitting in the same spot for 10 years, so he wanted to go back to it and take a look at it again and see what happened, in those 10 years. And since it wasn't put together, everything had exposure to air and the same temperature, and there was a lot of factors that the entire shell had. There's a lot of things that he explained as far as why he thought this was a pretty good way to evaluate what went on with the retrobrighting. And it's not just that he says or makes claims about things. He's showing you, like, he's got receipts. It's not like he's not just like saying retrobrighting is damaging the plastics and causing it to even yellow more over time. Like he can literally show you the spots. He has photographs of when he was putting the retrobrighting on, like, and the spots that he didn't put the retrobrighting on because he had like tape over or something. And he goes back and shows you the spots where the tape was, and you can see that the spots that were not retrobrighted are lighter than the spots that were retrobrighted. They're more yellow where he had done the retrobrighting. So over time, the retrobrighting actually did more damage to the plastic and caused it to yellow even more.
I think that's what he's talking about right here at this part, because he's talking about how he had part of it taped off. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
And he shows it. He's like, look, it's not as yellow as where I was doing the retrobrighting. So,
yeah. And he did two different types of retrobrighting. And I know one of them was a peroxide thing, and I'm not sure what the other one was, but, it wasn't like he just did. He had quite a bit of information. He had done, like I said, a lot of different stuff to this system. So it's just a pretty interesting case study as far as his result is concerned.
Last line, 100%. I guess retrobrighting is the new blowing into the cartridge. Yeah, because we all did it and thought, well, this is how you fix the console. And as an adult now, you're like, no, don't do that. So,
well, I don't know why we didn't really think about it, but the only thing retrobrighting ever did was damage the top layer of the plastic. That's all it ever did. It bleached the top of the plastic. And what happens over time, which he showed, is that top layer of the plastic decays away. And because of the damage done, it causes more yellowing than it would have otherwise. The plastic itself is not, like, if you go into the plastic, like beyond that layer, it's still whatever it was before, but now it has less structure to it because you've damaged the top layer. So you've literally made it more brittle. You've damaged the plastic. You've probably made it more yellow than it was before. And what were we thinking that this was doing? That's what I keep going back to. I'm like, what were we thinking this was? Like, why did we think this was a good idea?
Probably because because of the results that you initially get is because
initially,
it's like, well, I want this thing to look like it used to look. So I totally get that. I've since then listened to some other podcasts about toy collecting or whatever. And like, there's some toys that just notoriously, have changed color or whatever. And I guess they decided a while back, like, no, we're not going to retrobright these because it's clearly going, like, if you want your Storm Shadow to not completely fall apart on you, guess what? He's yellow Storm Shadow now. Like, he's never going to be he's never going to be white again unless you paint it. And they're just like, if you want to paint it, you do you. But yeah, otherwise you're going to break it down or whatever. So
They should have just painted their fucking Dreamcast and shit. If you really think about it, if you'd gotten the right shade of spray paint and did it right, you probably would have had a pretty decent result for your yellow Dreamcast.
See, okay. So let's get into this. So I was kind of throwing together some stuff, and I was just like, all right, so let's kind of talk about the path to doing something like this. Okay, the path to trying to restore your console. Okay. So level 1, this is like the very bare minimum that you can do, right? Is clean the outside of the case. Like, take, some water, of course, on a rag, don't dump water on it or whatever, but we have to clarify this because some people are like, I just dunked my whole PS4 into the sink and all of a sudden it don't work. But yeah, like clean the outside of the case, use soap, use alcohol. I've heard some people are just like, don't use Clorox. I'm just like, Clorox is probably okay. But if you're that worried about it, you do you. I know I watched some videos where, they've used, what do they call it? The Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to really kind of get stuff out. But then a lot of people were just like, yeah, but then it messes up the finish. And I was like, yeah, I get that. But like, would you rather, I mean, this is all personal. Like this is all going to be a personal thing. But me personally, like, would I rather have a slightly dull finish on part of the case or this big black stripe on it? You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, okay, fine. Whenever you hold it up and do this in the light, which no one's going to do except for maybe you and me, you're going to go, oh, look, it's not quite as shiny right there. What happened? Like everyone's just going to be like, oh, look, it looks like it's good clean console. Anyway, like this is level 1. If you just want to clean the outside of the case, this is no harm, no foul. You've pretty much everyone can do this. All right. Now you get to level 2. This is when you start disassembling stuff. Okay. At this point, you've decided, all right, I'm going to try to blow off the circuit boards. I'm sure there's dust and dirt in there. I'm going to give the case a good cleaning. It's at this point, like you're only 2 steps in that you're just like already, all right, well, what am I going to do here? Because if you've got the case off, you might as well do something. You know what I'm saying? Because level 3, that's when you start doing like recapping the board, retrobrighting the case, adding modifications, that type of stuff. So my thought process is you've already got the case off, right? We're talking about here, retrobrighting is probably not a good idea. Even if you were to do it, even if you got fantastic results, if it's going to come back, you're either going to have to keep doing this over and over again, which to me just sounds like set aside the thought idea that it's going to damage the case. But just looking at it and going, man, do I really want to have to do this every 5 or 6 years or whatever? Like that's kind of a lot of work. To me, it makes sense to either A, just leave it like it is. Who said that earlier on? Someone said, just leave that bitch yellow. Retro Bro said, just leave that bitch yellow. Battle scars. Yeah. Leave it like it is. Because if you want to look, I guess, like you said, you could paint it. Of course, my thought process is, well, if you're gonna paint the fucker, like go all out on it. Like, have you seen like where people have taken an NES case? There's one in particular, and they sanded it and they painted it like a piano black. It looks fantastic. Like if you're gonna do that painting and stuff, go for broke on it. Like make it look fucking awesome, or give it a theme or something. Like I know someone took a Nintendo a while back and gave it a Ghostbusters theme, so it was like they painted it like red, like the containment unit, and then like added some lights and other stuff on the top of it. And I was just like, that's cool. But yeah, like if you're gonna get to this point, and if you don't want to look original, like in my opinion, don't know if you're gonna follow me on this, fucking replace the case. Like it looks like you can get a replacement that looks the same color, but at this point, like you and I were talking the other day, like you've seen where people have those setups, they've got those IKEA cabinets and they've got lights in them, and each one has their own console in there, and they've got it brightly lit. They're showing off these consoles. If you want it to look original, that's cool. That's on you. Me, dude, how awesome would it be to have all of your consoles like clear or a certain color or whatever, and then when you hit it with the multiple color lights, I think that would look fucking awesome. That's also just me. My point is if you're going to get all the way to the point where you're taking the case off of the console, what's the point in not like, and the other thing I'm going to say about why not just replace the case. No one said you had to throw the old case away. Hold on to this thing. Keep it as this transparent blue for 3 or 4 years. And when you're like, I really kind of like it the way it was, then you just go put it back in the old case. Like no harm, no foul. You're not doing any permanent damage to this thing. Unlike the retrobrighting, which is apparently that's a one and done. Like once you decide to go down that route, you're not going back.
I want to say another thing about the retrobrighting and why it's not a good idea. And I don't think the guy talked about this, but plastics, as far as like products that we buy, the outside of the plastic is usually coated with something that's not just the plastic. It's like a polymer, or it's something that's designed to protect the plastic and have certain effect. And if you do retrobrighting, you're totally destroying whatever is on the outside of your console or whatever. So it's no wonder that it gets more damaged, because whatever was there to protect it's no longer protecting it. Mm-hmm. You know, retrobrighting really seems stupid to me. I mean, the more I've thought about it, I'm like, why did anybody think this was a good idea? You're going to bleach your console? Like, I mean, that's like, what? Like,
people bleach their assholes. I mean,
well, okay.
I'm just saying.
I guess the same people bleaching their assholes are probably bleaching their consoles. I guess, I don't know.
Hopefully not using the same products.
Yeah, and hopefully not like at the same time.
Yeah, hopefully.
But my thing is, what I would do is just repaint the console. I literally would find the right shades of spray paint, whatever it is you're looking for. For me, I would want to try to get it to look original, because I think that's cool. Mm-hmm. And if I could find the right shades of spray paint and do it right, maybe airbrushing like they were talking about in the chat.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe get somebody that knows what they're really doing to actually take care of this for me. You could make a console look pristine, like really, really nice, you know?
True.
So that seems like a much better idea, because it's not going to destroy anything. In fact, it's adding layers of protection. It's supporting the plastics instead of destroying the plastics. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why you wouldn't do that, or just do what you're talking about and get one of these replacement cases. You know, do something like that. Or even here's another wild idea. Just go on eBay and find a broken console that has a nice case, and just take that case off and put it on your console.
I mean, feasibly you could, if you could find one that hasn't aged or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the retrobrighting thing is a huge pain in the ass, and it doesn't even do what you want it to do. It just, I don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I like the idea. There's some good ideas in here. Tie-dye, that would be cool. The hydro dip, the hydro dip stuff that I've seen is freaking awesome. If you've never seen that, metal case, dude. Yeah. Like that one that, Macho Nacho put on his freaking, Game Boy Advance. Yeah. Oh, that thing was beautiful. But Last Line had a good idea too. Vinyl decals. Like there's gotta be some awesome vinyl decals out there you could put on a case to make it look legit.
I don't know that they necessarily have those for like Super Nintendos and Genesis and stuff, but they definitely have those for some consoles, you know, PlayStation, different things like that.
If you've got a giant vinyl printer, like, and you got some ideas, like that might be a business you could support. So titanium, nice.
I like the idea of a brushed metal or something like aluminum case, Super Nintendo or something.
Dude, chrome that bitch out.
Yeah. I imagine that would be pretty expensive. Yeah.
Chrome Super Nintendo. Hell yeah, man.
A chrome Sega Genesis, dude.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
That would be
so
nice.
Here's the question. Would you make it all, we're talking about Gen 1 Genesis, right?
Yeah.
All right. Do you keep any other colors on there, or is it completely chrome? Like, do you keep the little red I don't know.
That's a good question. It's a good question. I wouldn't have anything on it plastic except the LED lights. Yeah, I'd have the dial for the volume control. Everything would be metal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The only reason I asked that is because, like, looking at the Super Nintendo here, the one on the right, where it's all clear except for it still has the purple buttons. I was just like, well, would you do it all chrome except for maybe the buttons on some things? Like that could be cool. Like there's so many different things you could do. So
yeah.
But and then you've seen these goobers that buy like I don't know if you've seen this or not. They'll take a cast iron pan and they'll polish it. Have you seen where people have done that shit and get it like reflective as all hell?
Wow, no.
I can see someone doing that shit for this. That's a million view YouTube right there. Is finding a metal case for an N64 and polishing it till it's got a mirror finish. So
that'd be pretty badass.
Oh yeah. My problem is even though I'm okay painting and stuff like that, it's everything I do. I'm trying to make it look real world so it looks dinged up and beat up. The idea of trying to get a mirror finish, like a solid black mirror finish on something like on Nintendo, is almost scary to me. Like it's like the amount of work you have to put in. It's literally just
do you know who
so much sanding?
Do you know who Bithead 1000 is?
No.
Okay. Check out his channel when you get a chance. He's a big TurboGrafx guy, but he also has a business on the side where he makes glass cases for video game consoles. Like he will recreate
legit glass?
Yes. He will recreate like Xbox or Super Nintendo, PlayStation in glass, and they look the same, but they're glass. It's amazing.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it is really cool. Yeah, he puts a lot of work into them. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that shit out. That sounds awesome. Can't you 3D print a shell? Yeah, as long as you've got the measurements or you've got an STL for it, yeah, you absolutely could. The main thing is though is you would have print lines and stuff on it, which if you didn't mind that, I mean, yeah, you could definitely 3D print it. The only, like I said, the problem is you're going to run into print lines, and then to try to get those, it would be just as bad trying to get that to even not like a mirror finish, just try to get that smoothed out would be a lot of work. So, but I mean, if you wanted to look 3D printed, yeah, you could absolutely do that. So 100%. Hell, there may already be files out there.
Bastarino wants to know if you could make a shell out of a shell. Like, it might be hard to harvest enough shells like from local ponds to find the turtles or whatever, but maybe you could do armadillo. You could do armadillo shells, maybe. Seashells. You could do seashells.
Seashells, yeah. Paint the print lines. No, because then it would look. I mean, it's definitely a look. It would almost look like if you did, depending on the filament, and you printed and you painted the filament lines, it would almost look like how when like they build stuff out of concrete and it does layers, it would almost look like that. So yeah, you can get some interesting effects and stuff. But I mean, the newer 3D printers are getting better and better about getting different layers. Now, what's interesting is now looking at the Super Nintendo, this would not be a good example of this, but like depending on how you printed it, it is now possible to print. I don't have one of the newer printers that will do this. But like depending on the print bed that you put down, it has a texture in itself. And so whatever prints on it comes out completely flat, completely smooth, and it has a texture as itself. And so you look at it, I'll have to see if I can find it and show you sometime. But you remember really fun stuff like that.
You remember a few years ago when you made the Super Nintendo Mini before there was a Super Nintendo Mini?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. That was a long time ago. That was
like a decade ago. So yeah. So, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about that because, like I said, that came up. We got to talk about the other day, and I was just like, yeah, I think we finally can we put this one to rest? It's like, hey, yes, if you want to retrobrite your stuff, you do you, but like, just there's probably better choices out there, guys. So,
I just think it's important for people to know what they're getting themselves into. You know, do whatever you want, and if you think retrobrighting is a good idea, okay, cool, but just take a look at some of the results other people have and just, be educated about your decision. That's all. I mean, do whatever you want, Yeah,
it's your shit. So, yeah, I definitely don't want to be one of those guys that's just like, well, you shouldn't have done that. No, it's his shit. Let that person do what they want to do with their stuff. So, anyway, but you know how the internet is. I listen to a guy in particular. He buys a bunch of old vehicles and sometimes he like chops them up and does other stuff with them or whatever. Well, he got an old ambulance, and of course a lot of people are like, you're going to turn it into an ecto, and there were so many people that came like, no, quit doing that. I'm just like, dude, no one gives a shit about those old ambulances. We just want to see ectos. That's all we want to see. No one gives a shit about that old ambulance. You're the only person that's like, I kept it as an ambulance. Cool. Wait until you die and someone sells it and turns it into an ecto. It's going to happen. So friends don't let friends do Retrobright. Yeah, it could be. So maybe is that a shirt you need to make last line? Start selling on your stuff.
Good idea. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So, all right. So Cyrus and I had a little incident the other day. When was that? Was that Saturday?
Maybe.
So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a few days. So Cy and I had a situation the other day. We've been talking about on and off. Hey, we should be able to make it so we can play games online together. And we kind of did something a little bit. We jumped on StreamYard, and you were able to use the virtual camera in OBS, and you basically shared your screen. And I figured out how to do it now on my PC as well. And so we were looking at it. We're like, okay, well, this is fine for like single player games, because there are some. I would still like to do that for like some of the F-Zero games that are still single player. But like we were messing around with the other day, there are, as F-Zero goes on, it does allow you to play multiple players. And so we were like, okay, well, it's 2025 at this time. We should be able to figure this out. This should not be hard. Like, we're playing old games online. This should not be a hard thing to do. And we've heard about RetroArch has it built in. Of course, there's Steam, there's consoles, and we're just like, we should be able to figure out how to do this fairly easily. So we sat down, we're like, all right, let's get together, let's see what we can do and figure this mess out. And so the first thing we hit was RetroArch, because we both have it. We both have it installed. We've got a bunch, crap ton of games for it and everything. And at first it went great. Like, literally, I go into RetroArch and I said start a NetPlay session. And I think I gave it a 4-digit code or something or other. And I was like, all right, so I'm in Contra. We're going to try it with Contra first. So I fire up Contra on the NES. It's like, so all right. So Cy jumps in and he goes to look. And there's no way to like filter for me. Like, he just like has to like keep looking. He's like, okay, I guess that's you. It says playing Contra online. So he joins, and sure enough, it comes up and says, hey, Anonymous has joined playing Contra. I'm like, okay, cool. So we start playing. We even did a sound test, like, countdown, 1, 2, 3, jump. Okay, looks like there's no lag. 1, 2, 3, jump. Looks like it's no lag. All right, cool. This is working. All right, great. Let's try something that's a little harder. So we jump up to Contra 3 on the SNES, even though I kept calling it Contra 4 and everything else. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I wasn't feeling great, guys. Anyway, we do the same thing. Runs great. Everything's working fine. We're like, man, I think this is going to work. And it's about this time I start to think, why aren't more people doing this online? Why are we watching more YouTubers like getting together on RetroArch and playing games and streaming games together, playing these old games? Like, is that just something that no one's thought to do? Is that something that no one's interested in doing? And then we get to fire the N64, and it says it's not supported. And we're like, what? What do you mean the N64 is not supported? We can't play online together? That sucks. And then at that point, we tried to go back to do some other stuff, and it kept popping up saying UPnP had stopped working. And I'm just like, I didn't do anything different. Like, we haven't restarted. We haven't changed any settings. Like, what the hell's going on? And so as we kept messing with it, we kept trying some other stuff. It didn't work. And it very quickly became obvious that this is something that they've set up in RetroArch, but is bare bones, very bare bones. It's like, hey, I got it working. Okay, cool. Go work on something else. But what about, no, it's fine. You said you got it working. We don't need any frills or anything like that. So Bassarino, you guys need each other's IP addresses? No. That's the other problem, is there's no way to log into it. Like, 'cause there's no way to go in there and say that, log in and say, hi, I'm Optimus Gene or whatever. And that's Cyrus Martin. And then we could have a friends list that we could share stuff. None of that. It is quite literally like about the only way you could keep some rando from jumping in your game, like I said, is putting in a code. And it was just like, and I think I used the one from Spaceballs, was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so, yeah, like we messed around with it for a little bit longer, and we're just like, this sucks. So we're like, okay, this is not going to work for what we want to do. Like, let me
say this real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah.
It did work sometimes for a while. Like, it was work. And when it was working, it was pretty cool. But then it would just stop, randomly disconnect you. The player, it would do this weird thing where like the game would rewind itself to a previous moment after it had already passed a moment. Like I remember in Contra, there was one of the bosses you get to at the end where there's like, you have to destroy all the stuff on the side of the screen before you can go into the base. And it destroyed, but then it undestroyed itself. And like, there was like weird stuff. It was not good. It was good for a little while, but then it started to have problems. And then there was stuff that, like you said, with the N64 and stuff, it just wasn't supported. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, there's no structure to it. There's no login and here's my IP and here's his IP and we'll direct connect and none of that exists in RetroArch. Now I'm sure there's, other software that people have created in some form or fashion out there that does a better job of connecting people. I remember there used to be a service, like a software that people would download. And I remember downloading it where you would log into that and then it would start the emulators for you. But that was many, many years ago. I don't even know what that would be now or how good that would work, but there are other things. It's PC. There's, crap tons of stuff out there, but, it was not going to be ideal. It was not going to be ideal.
And to be more specific, now, Cy and I were also trying to do this specifically so that we could not only play together. Like, if we were just going to like, hey, do you want to play a Nintendo game? Cool. Every so often, this would be perfectly fine for that. But we were trying to set this up so that we could like, hey, maybe we can not necessarily build a show around it, but like be able to do this on the regular and stream it.
Yeah.
Last line saying, I forgot the name of the service, but there was something I used to use for SNES and Genesis.
Yeah.
Play game. So yeah, I'm sure there may be some other stuff in there, but he also saying that was like 20 years ago. So
that's about when I was doing that. I think we probably using whatever the same thing.
It's been the same thing. Kind of sounds like it. The point of the fact is it's 2026 now. I mean, we're only one day in, but it's 2026 now. And we haven't figured this out yet. Like, what the hell? Like, it's crazy. So we're like, okay, that didn't work. Fine, whatever. Let's go and move to the next thing, which we know for a fact is going to be 100% rock solid. And that is Steam. Steam, where everyone buys all of their games. Everyone plays everything. Steam is the end all be all, right? Cy and I both have, there's tons of games here. We start looking, well, what game do you have? I have that game too. How much is this game? Oh, it's only like $3. Sure, I can download it.
We almost spent some money because we thought there was some stuff we could buy that would be really cool to play together. I don't mean to interrupt too much. I just want to throw that in real fast.
I'm glad you are, because this is our story we're telling here. Okay. And then of course everyone knows heavily discounted sales. You can buy games for fucking like 99 cents. It's ridiculous. And so we start looking, and I'm like, it was what, the Marvel Arcade Classics or something like that.
The Capcom Arcade Stadium 1 and 2. And we looked at a bunch of different collections. The Contra collection, what was the Ninja Turtle one?
Out of their shells or out of her shell or something.
No. That one, but also the Cowabunga collection.
Oh, the Cowabunga collection. Yeah. So, and here's what we found. I got to looking at it and I was just like, well, it doesn't say online. Some of these say online co-op, but this doesn't say online co-op. It says remote play together. I'm like, how is that different? How is remote play together different? Yeah. And so I start looking at it and I'm just like, are you kidding me? So for those of you who aren't sure what the difference is, an online co-op, you both have to own the game. So Cyrus fires up the game and I fire up the game and we find each other and we play a game, and literally it's just very minimal net code, talks between the two systems and keeps everything linked, and it plays exactly like you think it's going to play. But the majority of the games we were looking at do not offer that. They use this thing called remote play together. Now, I get it if you are not doing this for streaming. If this was just me and Cy wanting to get together and play a game, this would probably be perfectly fine. but this was not going to work for streaming because the way this works is I'm the only one that has to have the game, or he's the only one that has to have the game. Doesn't matter. Just one of us has to have the game. So you do save money that way. But the other person essentially tunnels into the other person's computer, and I think you can use more than one controller. But the way it was talking about it is I would use mouse and keyboard, and he could use a controller, or maybe vice versa. Maybe you could use multiple controllers. But essentially what it is doing is you are tunneling into my computer, and then my computer is streaming everything back to you. And so now, and it specifically said, I got to reading on it. It was like, yes, this works great because, as long as everyone's got good bandwidth, as long as everyone's got a decent computer, you can save some money this way, but it is very network dependent and is very, heavy on the network. So this would have just crushed any hopes of us trying to stream this yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I don't have a tremendous amount of up bandwidth. I'm good for down, but not for up. And I think Eugene has a similar situation, better than mine, but limits. And if you're sending a stream to somebody that's a two-way situation, and then you're going to also stream your stream, you're going to stream your stream on your YouTube channel. Now you start to have problems because, I mean, we even had problems streaming if like one of us was downloading something, like downloading a game or doing an update to a game. You would start to see the stream just start chopping up and bogging down and stuff. So this bandwidth issue pretty much made that a no-go, like a non-starter. The remote play thing would be fantastic if you weren't also, because it's our situation, if we weren't also going to be streaming to our YouTube channels. Like we don't have the
if
resources.
We weren't attention whores, this would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Serena, you're 100% correct. Like that was the thing. We started filtering through. We're like, okay, well, what games are actual true co-op? And we're like, okay, well, that's fine. But man, there's a bunch of other games on here that we wanted to play that it's not going to work out. Like it just, and
I was very disappointed. Yeah,
I was too, especially because we had essentially a failure with RetroArch. Like this was okay. If nothing else, we'll fall back on Steam. We know Steam will work.
I thought for sure it would be fine on Steam. I had
100%.
We were literally picking games we were going to get and how it was going to work, talking about stuff, and just started to look at some of the descriptions about stuff. And that's when we noticed that there was this situation. I had no idea that these games, because I own the Cowabunga collection on PlayStation and on Switch, I was going to buy it on Steam because I'm like, well, we'll do that on Steam. And sure enough, it's like remote play. And I'm like, what? Why is this different for Steam? I still don't understand that. Why don't they have regular multiplayer or, online co-op? It's very strange.
Yeah. Last line, you're 100% right. Yeah. A lot of retro style games, especially beat 'em ups, have no co-op, which in this day and age, I mean, like it just doesn't make sense to me because modern consoles are not built to play multiple people on one. Like anytime my boys have a friend come over, they hang out and do other things. They'll go shoot hoops. They'll maybe, goof off, watch something on YouTube or whatever. But when it's like, oh man, you want to play a game? Like, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go home so I can get on my console because a lot of games don't have the co-op built in. So to build a game or to have these older games and not immediately go, oh, it needs to be online co-op, just to me, it seems like, I don't know, like someone's not connecting the dots here. So, but I don't know. But anyway, so that's when we moved on to the last thing. So he's like, you have a Switch still, right? Or I remember, I think you asked about the Switch. I was like, yeah, the Switch is the only console I have anymore. Like I sold my Xbox Series S. Still got a Switch. It needs to be updated. That was the other funny thing is when I immediately pulled it out, it was just like, well, every single game in the consoles needs an update. So, it was kind of fortuitous that I pulled it out. I went ahead and got it updated and downloaded everything. And my boy actually he asked for a capture card, so he could play his Xbox and stream it. And unbeknownst to us, my mother had also bought him the capture card. And so initially I was going to send it back, send the spare one back. And I was just like, you know what? No, I'll hold on to it and I'll end up using it. So the other day, Sai and I met up. He actually called me. He's like, hey, you got a little bit of time? I was like, yeah, I can spare some time. And so got set up and started playing Switch games. And this was exactly what we were looking for. Like, it just fucking worked. We were joking before the show that should become Nintendo's new slogan is it just works. I know you'll be back. But yeah, you do need a capture card for this. Once again, this is talking about if we're trying to stream. This is our focus. If you're just trying to play games, of course consoles play online. Like that's their big thing. That's why everyone has one, to play online. It's dirt simple. That was the major selling point of the 360 over the PlayStation 3. Not only just the money, but like the network was there. Like we've had so few problems on, to play games online on the Xbox 360. But yeah, so we fired it up. We started playing games. We started playing online games. We went through the other reason why I think you defaulted to this one is because you were like, hey, do you have the service? Of course you have to have the service. But then, yeah, you get like all these Nintendo games and Super Nintendo and Genesis. And we started firing them up, playing 2-player. No problems at all. Like they ran exactly like we were hoping they were going to.
Yeah. And since we don't live that far, we're like 2.5 hour drive maybe from each other. It's not a lot of space between us, so that's probably helping with the latency and everything. But yeah, we didn't have any lag at all between us. I was very, very impressed because I like maybe a year ago, whenever it was, had tried to play some Nintendo Switch Online NES stuff with the Silver Wings, and we had major lag issues and stuff. And I don't know, maybe they've improved it since then, or maybe it is just that we're not that far from each other. But whatever the case, it works. And unfortunately, like the last one saying, maybe the Cowabunga collection does have online co-op on Steam. So maybe I'm misremembering that one. But there was like pretty much everything we looked at was remote play. That's all it offered. And that just wasn't going to work. And I'm still like in disbelief about that. But the Switch thing, who would have thought that was that was not even on my mind until we ran into these brick walls, and it was like, well, what about the Switch? And of course this started me thinking about the Switch 2 again, which I'm not getting a Switch 2, but I did start thinking about it because I was like,
PJ immediately. I was like testing the Switch on my stream, and he's like, "Hey, we need to get Sai to get the Switch 2," and I'm just like, "No, PJ, no, we don't."
I had thought about. There was actually a day where I almost did it. I almost did it. But
I need you to start texting me before you start making purchases and be like, "Hey, I think about doing it," and I'll just be like, "No, don't do it."
I was like, it could be here tomorrow. But I'll tell you, you know what? One of the reasons I didn't get it is Luke was talking with me, and he said, there's certain games that aren't compatible that you own, like the Turok games. There's some games that have compatibility issues on Switch.
You know what? You're right, because I watched a stream on it, and he kept having issues.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, that's a good enough reason for me to not want to do this. Thank you. You've given me enough excuse to write this off for now. So maybe down the road, but I like my OLED Switch. I don't need another Switch. It's fine. It's good. Oh, Rab is here. Do you know Rab? He used to be on to be on a bunch of streams with us. Yeah. Okay.
Don't discount that you've aged a year between those experiences, size, so you may have just synced with the lag.
I don't discount that. That is absolutely a possibility. Yes.
Absolutely.
I know I'm slowing down. I know that for a fact. I'm very aware. Thank you, Rab, for reminding us of our
mortality.
Mortality.
Thanks for that, dude. This is a upper of a show.
Yeah, appreciate.
Hell yeah. But yeah, no, I just wanted to bring this up for anyone. Like I said, I know where you and I are this is a very specific situation because 99% of everyone else is just like, can I sit down and play games? Oh, can I sit down and play Contra with my buddy from high school that I haven't seen in a while? Cool. It works. Great. Let's go. And like I said, if that's our situation, it would have been fine. We would have been okay back with RetroArch or whatever. But like, because we're both like, how can we turn this into a stream that we, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that's where we ran into issues. So, and I know a lot of people who are in the chat here are streamers as well. So it's just kind of like, hey guys, just be aware. Like if you're thinking about trying to do something like this, yeah, just be aware that don't make assumptions. I guess is just the bottom line here. Don't make assumptions that, oh, well, yeah, obviously it will work this way. I mean, why would it not work this way? No, don't do that. Like it's, and I finally showed the movie to my boys. It's funny because my partner at work is one of the few people that I've met in the wild that knows this quote and lives by it as well. For those of you who don't know, I work at a high school. I have a partner. He's also a tech, and we handle all the technology and stuff. And I cannot tell you how many times people come to our campus to do presentations or whatever and make assumptions. Oh, you don't have a projector set up in there? Oh, you don't have the cables? You don't have speakers for me? You don't have an extra laptop for me or whatever? It's like, no. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I finally showed my boys The Ghost in the Darkness. And if you've never seen The Ghost in the Darkness, number one, fantastic movie. But number two, there's a specific quote in that movie. Brad Pitt is, not Brad Pitt. What's his name? Iceman.
Oh no! Why did you do this?
I know.
Stupid brains. Oh my god.
Stupid brains. Anyway, he borrows
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer borrows the doctor's gun because it's a more powerful rifle, and he's got the line set up, the shot set up, and he pulls the trigger and it misfires, and he's stuck. Luckily, they come in and save his ass, but like what's his face comes in and he looks at, he's like, "Is this your gun?" He's like, "No, I brought it from the other guy." He's like, "You took an untested weapon into battle."
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
That's one of my favorite Michael Douglas movies.
Hell yeah. You took an untested weapon into battle. And I fucking live by that. Like anytime I've ever had to go do a presentation or anything like that, I ask, do y'all have a projector? Do y'all have this? Do y'all have that? Cool. I borrow one and take it with me because you never know if it is vital that you have to have something for technology wise to work. You always test. You never take an untested weapon into battle.
I got to tell you, it's funny you say this. And Luke, I was talking about Ghosts of the Darkness. I'm going to say something, and this is not me ragging on Luke. I'm not saying this to be like to roast my friend Luke, but I will say this. Luke and I both have a problem. You talk about we shouldn't take an untested weapon into battle. We both have the same problem where sometimes we want to stream. I know you've had the same thing, Eugene. You're like, I want to stream. I think I've got it all set up. I'll just, I'm good. And then you go to start and it's like, oh, I forgot to do this and this isn't working and I hadn't tested that and I need to reboot because this was fucked up or, it's like, yes, we should always test everything ahead of time and make sure the game's working and make sure the connection is good and make sure all stuff. And it always burns us when we don't, yet we still do that shit.
Oh, it still happens from time to time. Like the other day when I was playing, I was going through the Game Boy games I have, and I was just like, I don't have a ROM for Tetris?
Yeah.
How do I not have a ROM for Tetris? Like, that was the game that came with the fucking console. How do I not have a ROM for Tetris? Sure enough, I did. I had Super Tetris, Tetris 2, Tetris whatever, and I was just like, I didn't have Tetris.
You had made all the images and the titles and everything, and you didn't even have the ROM.
I was just like, what the fuck?
I felt you on that because I was like, oh my God, I've done not the exact same shit, but I've done that same type of thing so many times. You think you're all set, you got it all going, and then, oh, fuck.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it gets. I mean, it will always bite us from time to time. But like I said, but like for the big stuff, for like like I said, trying to plan, like, hey, let's maybe start once a week. We'll get together and play games online or whatever. We were smart. We're like, well, let's make sure we have this shit figured out. And sure enough, we didn't ever figure it out. But now we've got a plan. So
there's so many mornings when I would be like, I get up a little early thinking I've got an extra hour. I'm going to stream in the morning before I go to work. And then I waste 45 minutes trying to get my hardware to work correctly. And I just give up on the stream. It's happened to me so many times.
And I always feel horrible. I'm just like, dude, I'm so sorry. Cause I know you're going to work at that point, and the whole time you're just like, what the fuck was wrong with it? Was it because I clicked this? Did something else change? Because that's how I would have been. The whole damn day, I would have been like, I'm going home at lunch. Is everything okay? No, I've got to check something. Like, I have to know. Like, it's bugging the hell out of me.
You got to go to work, and you're sitting there the whole day thinking, what? Maybe it was this and this, and you're like, as soon as you get home, you're going to start going through it. But it's like the whole day, all you can think about is the stupid technical nonsense.
I've lost so much sleep. I've gone to bed so late so many times, and I'm just like, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, I'll have this figured out. Nope.
Yep.
So stupid brains. Anyway, all right. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit because we had an incident earlier on. So all right,
but we got it figured out. We got it figured out.
Yeah,
we're gonna have some good stuff going on. It's gonna be fun. So and I'll just say, for my own selfish mentioning here, my buddies, guys, if y'all there'll be stuff happening on my channel where we play online. It's not just me and Eugene. Other friends, we can do the Nintendo stuff. I got to send my friend code to members on my channel, so people have that. But anyway, I don't know if you have a desire to include other people as well, but it's a possibility now.
No, absolutely. Yeah, like the whole purpose of this is to chat and have fun and play games, and playing games with other people makes it even better. Like there are still a crap ton of single player games I want to go through and stream and have fun and stuff. But yeah, when you hit those multiplayer games, like sitting there going through and talking about, oh yeah, I got Contra as a kid. It was great. Contra is a great game. But it's a million times better when you have 2 people playing it. Like, everyone knows this. So like when we get to those multiplayer games, like, and it didn't even have to be a big thing. Like, hell, like if we could get together, if we could get 6 people together to play fucking Shredder's Revenge, I will
6 people, dude.
I will have to do everything I can to fucking get in on that. Because having all 4 turtles and Casey Jones and Splinter or April O'Neil or whoever, all the other, like, just fucking 6 player, we would wreck that game. That would be so much damn fun.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that game is insane to try to play multiplayer too. Like, cause like back in the arcade, like, or especially on the Nintendo, like you could play, it was you and you could have 3 bad guys on the screen. But if you had 2 players, maybe you can only have 2 or whatever. That game doesn't give a shit. That game's like, oh, there's 6 of you? Cool. Here, keep shoveling out bad guys. Like, it's good. So yeah, Shredder's Revenge is so freaking good.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That dude, yeah, I'm sure we can we'll have to figure it out, but we can get a bunch of people together and play that. That'd be great. That
would be awesome. All right, so we had one more story that I wanted to cover, and this kind of came about just because first off, let me explain this way. I felt like after the last episode, we left very, very dark, and that there was no hope against the coming of AI. And I'm not saying AI is not coming. All I'm saying is I wasn't sure, like, you've heard people talk about, oh, there's an AI bubble coming. And I'm just like, I don't know, guys. Like, it's getting fucking everywhere and everything else. And something in the back of my brain was just like, I don't know, I think I'm missing something here. And so I want you to understand, Si, this is not me, number one, trying to convince you of anything. You have your own opinions and you keep your own opinions. I just want to throw some information out there. Okay.
All right.
But,
I disagree. No, I'm just kidding.
I definitely think there could be a bubble, and let me explain why. So, I also don't like to go into conversations when I like have a little bit of information and I'm just like, well, I don't know. I think so or whatever. That's why I don't like debating people in real life. It's just like, unless I can pull out my phone and show factual information, that's why I'm not a great debater. No joke on that one.
I only like to master debate.
Yes, I
people.
figured. I knew it was coming.
Sorry.
So anyway,
had to be done. Sorry.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the possible AI bubble. Because I don't know, maybe what it was all of a sudden I got an influx of a bunch of stuff over the last 2 weeks on like my social media stuff, and a lot of it was just clickbait or whatever, but a lot of it actually had some pretty meaty, good information in there. All right, so let's talk about it. Cash over profit. Okay, research shows that most companies who have started investing in AI have seen no effect from their AI chatbots. My school district has an AI chatbot on the website. Okay. I'm sure it is very low level. I'm sure it is, well, I would say I'm sure it didn't cost us a lot of money, but knowing my school district, it probably cost us a fair, chunk of change. But I cannot tell you how many people I've talked to, and I'm just like, they're just like, can you tell me where to find this on the website? And I'm just like, I don't know. It used to be here. They moved it. We can't find anything. And they're just like, yeah, and that AI chatbot is garbage. It doesn't help at all. My boys have even told me this. But apparently a lot of big companies that have invested in this are finding out that they're not having any effect. Like, it's not showing any kind of effect on their bottom line. And we all know that's what companies care about. Number one is their bottom line, right? Okay. Only 3% of people are paying for AI. Now, could that increase? Absolutely. But even I have cut back on it. Like, I've got all the intro stuff that I wanted done and the music and everything else, but I've even cut back and I'm just now using the free version. A lot of people, and this is one of those unfortunate things, like they needed to put it out for free to get more people to use it, to train on more stuff. But everyone knows how hard it is when you start off free to start asking for money later. Like, if you start asking for money and then decide to go free, everybody's happy. But as soon as you're like, hey, could you maybe kick it 99 cents or a month our way? They're like, no, I don't have money for that. I ain't doing that shit. I guarantee there's a lot of people who are just like, nope, the free version of whatever it is fine. I'll keep having EG live. It's all good. Right here, baby. All right. So anyway, so only about 3% of the norms are using it. So, Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft are going to be spending $400 billion on data centers this coming year. Just this year, right? Some of them are using 50% of the cash flow for data construction. So they're literally just like half of this $400 billion, $200 billion is just on the construction of these new buildings, right? Okay. When someone put it this way, I was just like, oh crap. Every iPhone user in the world would have to pay $250 to equal $200 billion. Like, it's what, you hear these numbers and you're just like, that's a big number. And then you're like, when you see it or hear it put a different way, you're like, oh wow, I didn't really think it was that big of a number. Like that, every iPhone user in the world would have to pay $250 for it to equal 200 billion. Like, that is so insanely crazy. Okay. Companies have taken on $121 billion in debt last year. That's up 300%. By the way, all of the articles that I'm referencing and all the links and stuff that I'm referencing are in the show notes. So if you have any questions about anything that I'm talking about, I've got links down there. So, as Sai said earlier, I'm trying to bring receipts. But yeah, one of the articles was talking about, they're like, yeah, we haven't seen this happen since Enron. And I'm just like, ooh, that's no bueno. This is all hinging on returns. Morgan Stanley estimates that big tech spending of $3 trillion by 2028. Once again, I was like, well, that's several years off. I'm like, oh no, wait a minute. We're at 2026. So that's only 2 years from now. That's not that far off. But what a lot of people are looking at is, if AI keeps on steady growth, if it keeps going up like this, it's going to outpace the capacity. Like, they will overbuild so much stuff. It's going to be ridiculous. If you go into the article and really read, it's like, it has to skyrocket. Like, it has to do what are they called? It's the hockey stick. It has to do a hockey stick, like just going vertical. And it may still, who knows? We're still in the early stages of this stuff. But as for right now, yeah, it's crazy. AI demand will have to grow exponentially And this is essentially what happened in the dot-com bubble. And I didn't realize that when the dot-com bubble happened, I thought it was just because people were doing like the poster child for the dot-com bubble was it pets.com? Something like that, where they were just like, everyone could buy everything online, including dog food. And it's just like, do you know how much dog food weighs? Like, dog food is heavy as shit. And so it very quick, I thought that was one of the main problems, was people tried to sell stuff that didn't make sense. Well, it turns out what actually happened is they were planning on fiber being rolled out faster than it was. So everybody and their brother was going to have this super fast, insane speed. And then it didn't happen. Like, a lot of people at that time were still on dial-up. And so it's just like, yeah, people are not going to go to your website because it takes them 15 minutes to log into your site. Like, they're going to keep going to the store and buying stuff. And that's what actually caused the dot-com bubble. And so a lot of people are liking this to that, because they're like, well, if the demand doesn't pick up and they just keep building these damn data centers, eventually they're going to have an issue where they've got more capacity than they have demand. Okay. This is the one that really kind of got me. So there's a $100 billion deal between OpenAI. I don't know why it has a 7. I guess I mistyped that. And NVIDIA. All right. So here's how it works. NVIDIA gave OpenAI like hundreds of billions of dollars.
6 of 7.
6 of 7 to open up data centers. OpenAI, and part of the deal was OpenAI was then going to take that money and buy NVIDIA chips. And so you have NVIDIA giving money to OpenAI, who gives it back to NVIDIA. And it's just like, okay. So when do other people start putting money in here? Because it's becoming one of those things, you know, that South Park, that famous South Park, step 1 is this, step 3 is profit. And it's like, well, what's step 2? Like, well, we're still figuring that out. And it's like, okay, wait. Yeah, that's the first thing that came. In fact, I should have put that up as a graphic. All right. Here's where things get interesting. Some of the estimates on these chips are burning out between 18 and 3 years, 18 months and 3 years. The entire chip is just frying itself because they're being run at 100%, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in these super hot facilities.
Yeah.
And that's where all this water demand is coming from. Everyone's just like, these centers are just sucking up all of the available water. And I was just like, why the hell are they doing it? It's because they have to literally fucking water cool every single one of these chips. They are saying now some of these chips can be used for less successful or less stressful processes going forward. So like maybe they take the chips and they're like, okay, this used to be like on the AI training. We'll take those chips and we'll move them over. And so now they're doing like they're answering the questions. Like, you know, basically they're the front end of the site or whatever. We can maybe do some of that. But the chip life cycles, the newer model chips, though, are making it uneconomical to keep running the older chips. So literally chips that came out 2 years within the first year are doing so much of a better job than the first year chips. It's no longer economical to keep running those older chips, right? And so people are starting to ask, so if it's not really that economical, if it would make more sense to buy new chips, are you going to do that? Because if you are, where are you getting the money to basically redo your entire life cycle? Like, you're talking about a 2-year life cycle. That's not sustainable. That's insane. And then the other thing they're running into is there is not enough power. Microsoft says they have the chips, they need power to run them. And some of these data centers may not get full power until 2028. So they're literally building these buildings. They've got stacks and stacks and stacks of chips and GPUs and now RAM, because, you know, they're hoovering that up like everything else. And they literally don't have the power to run it. And so it's sitting there slowly degrading. I'm sure you've run a business before, even a small business. You know how this works. As the years go by, every year that goes by, like, you have to say, well, we're writing off this amount because this thing is no longer worth this, this thing. So they have these GPUs that they bought for $2,000. Well, the next year they may only be worth $1,500, and the year after that they're only worth $1,000. And if they're not being used, unless they're selling them, they're sitting on a bunch of money that's literally just wasting away. And then of course there's the environmental concerns, the lack of water, the time to build the data centers. And a lot of public opinion is already starting to change because a lot of these, and I didn't include this video. I was going to throw another video up here in just a second. But go ahead and say what you were going to say.
I was going to ask if you talk about the space thing.
Oh, the space is ridiculous. But go ahead.
No, I mean outer space.
Oh, no. What are you talking about on that?
Oh, well, there's a plan, a multi-billion-dollar plan to start building data centers in space, orbiting the Earth.
I haven't heard of that one.
In the form of a network of satellites. The theory is that if they can get these things in the right orbit, then they would have solar power 24/7. They would never actually be without solar power, and they could run them from space and because they're having trouble getting permits to build these centers on the Earth. So there's like this huge multi-billion-dollar effort just to do this, to send these things up into space. And ever since I heard about this, I was like, that's interesting, because there's a phenomenon that I don't know if people are really aware of, called, and I think the term might not be the right term, but it's something like bit flipping or byte flipping. In space, the computers that they have at the space stations, or
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. They will spontaneously flip ones to zeros all the time. And it's because of these particles that fly through space that affect computers.
Yep.
It's such a bad problem that they have to keep multiple redundant hard drives on their systems.
Constant error checking, yeah.
Yes, constant error checking and constantly replacing the equipment because of this problem. Can you imagine if you were to set up a data center in space? What you would have to, there's no way that would work.
No, okay. I was thinking about this. Number one, yes, you would have infinite coolness. Like you could definitely just like keeping them hot keeping them cool would not be a problem. You could pretty much just like keep causing the air to go out and pulling in, coolness. But yeah, like I'm just like, well, I know we can transmit, obviously we can transmit data really, really fast back and forth, but I'm just like, who's going to work up there 24/7? Like, who's going to do that?
Well, AI, we'll have, androids, I guess that would,
Sure. Yeah. Let's get that nailed down first. So, but yeah. So, what I was going to say, I was going to share this one real quick. So hold on. Let's see here. Now, I don't know this group. So, if it's someone that, we can't trust or whatever, that's fine. Just let
Our
me
big
know.
tech overlords are getting exactly what they lobbied the federal government for, which is minimum AI regulation, maximum AI grift. And in fact, the tech executives now say that even though they won't stop vacuuming up all their hardware and sequestering it away so that consumers can't get it, they actually have too much of it. That's right. Here's Microsoft's CEO.
Biggest issue we are now having is not a compute glut, but it's a power. And it's sort of the ability to get the builds done fast enough close to power. So if you can't do that, you may actually have a bunch of chips sitting in inventory that I can't plug in. In fact, that is my problem today, right? It's not a supply issue of chips. It's actually the fact that I don't have warm shells to plug into.
Don't you just hate it when you have like too many $80,000 GPUs and a bunch of land? Meanwhile, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang says that not only are AI weapon systems and the people who design them unfairly vilified, but so is energy.
Without energy, how do we build chip plants, computer system plants, and these AI data centers? We call them AI factories, chip factories, supercomputer factories, and AI factories. They all require energy, every single one of them.
Oh.
How do you do that without energy? And so the fact that we vilified energy for so long, President Trump sticking his neck out and taking it on the chin and helping the country realize that energy is necessary for our growth is one of the greatest things he's done right off the bat.
Now, you might have had trouble understanding him with all of that gargling he's doing, but he's actually saying that energy is vilified.
I was just like, number one, that was funny. But I'm just like, okay, so I want to check chat here in just a second because there's some interesting stuff going on there. But yeah, it's like he goes on and he talks about lots of different things. He talks about the power, the lack of space, the lack of room, what it's causing or whatever. There was another video that I almost put up here. It was a woman. Like lots of these communities are getting petitioned to do these data centers like you were talking about. And the people are coming out in droves and they're just like, no, not here. And this one particular woman works in AI. She works in software development and stuff like that. And she's like slinging facts. And she's just like, yeah, it's going to destroy this, that, and the other. And I really don't want y'all to allow this company to build this giant data center that's going to be empty forever and, cause all this, it was really, really good. I almost put it on there, but yeah, so let's see what we got going on here in chat. So what I'm hearing, this is from
yes, please read
board.
Rab stuff. Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So what I'm hearing is buy your leather chaps and leash for your dune buggy winch now because big tech is speedballing our way to Thunderdome. But with Tay in the Swifties instead of Tina Turner. Fair enough. Last line says Gamers Nexus for the win. So apparently they're fairly trustable.
These guys are really good. Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, because I was looking at, I tried to do some research. I try not to just find randos and throw on here because, sometimes you throw something and you're just like, yeah, that guy kind of made, every so often he find, blind squirrel finds an acorn, but that guy's like way off. But no, I was like, no, this seems, and of course, there's links and everything else. But yeah, Luke's Awakening, they should partner with Frito. Hey, absolutely. So, yeah, it's one of those things that, like I said, I got to thinking about it, and like it just seemed like we were very much at the end of the last episode. It was just like, well, AI is gonna destroy everything, and we're gonna have movies are gonna be shit, and video games are gonna be shit, and everything else. I'm not saying things aren't going to get bad, and I'm not saying they're not going to get bad for a while, but some of me is kind of thinking, I'm just like, if they're trying to run too fast with this shit, yeah, they're definitely going to over. And if they overbuild, like the amount of money that they're borrowing, this is not going to be one of those things. It's just like, hey, you owe me $100. It's like, hey, you owe me $181 billion. Right. Where's my money?
Yeah,
like,
there's some there's starting to be some big concerns about the fact that every company is invested in AI and there's been no money made from AI.
And see, that was the thing I was looking at. The big companies are making, that's the problem. The big companies are making the money. Google, Meta, right. They're making the money. But yeah, the companies that are putting the money into it right now, yeah, they're not seeing anything yet. And I think after a couple quarters go by, and especially depending if the economy doesn't improve any, they're going to start really looking and being like, hey, things are getting kind of tight. What can we cut around here? And the AI spending, I could see definitely being one of the, especially if they're like, well, how much has AI spending saved us? And when the answer comes back, it hasn't. That's a stupid answer. Like then we're cutting that shit.
I mean, with the price of all the electronics going up, it's going up for them too. And so that's making their entire business model look really, really weird. So,
see, like I said, I work for a school district, and like I can't imagine when we have. I'm just trying to imagine what it's going to look like later on this year when we have to go, because we get money every year as a school district. Pretty much everyone does. You get money from the government, both federal and state, to spend on different things, and like some of that money has to be spent on technology. Like that's how it's earmarked, and I guarantee you there are people who are not paying attention to this shit that are just going to be like, wait, what do you mean we can only buy half as many computers as we said we were going to buy? Sorry, like RAM went up. Like Dell basically said, sorry, I know we gave y'all a quote for, $1,000 laptop, but we can't do that anymore. It's $1,500 now.
Oh, I want to say also, it's related to this. I saw a story, maybe I was listening to radio NPR, but they were talking about how quantum computers have turned out to be kind of a bust. Like it looks like maybe they never worked how people thought they worked, and it might be snake oil. It might not even be a thing. Yeah. So
yeah, and see that the the technology like that still kills me, that I'm just like, you always hear, it doesn't matter what year it is. You can go back to the beginning of time. We are 10 years away from cold fusion. 10 years. That's it. It's like, well, that was 20 years ago. That's the one that we really need. That's what we need, is we need to be able to break that. But set aside from that, like, yeah, man, it's like things are going to just, technology is going to keep getting better, but we're just in this hard hit place right now. And I know a lot of people are thinking this is going to be years, and it may still be. It may be years before something happens one way or the other. And we could be completely wrong. AI may save us all. It may doom us all. And no one's going to know. And if anyone tells me they know, you do you, man.
I'll tell you this. The amount of debt that these companies have gone into to do this is gonna, I mean, just the interest. I mean, it's horrible. This might be worse than a bubble, because
it could be.
This might be one of those, like, we're gonna have to bail out everything, and then this could be really bad.
It could be. So, Bassarina always thought quantum computing was stupid, or is stupid.
Well, like I said, I don't know enough about it, but from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of people that are saying maybe it's bullshit. Maybe quantum computing actually isn't a thing, and it's like one of those things that they, like snake oil. It's a science that isn't real.
Or like maybe it works on a certain level, but when you try to scale it, like that's always the thing, is like, yeah, there are things that work great on a small scale, but when you try to scale them up, it doesn't work. I've heard, not to get political here, but a lot of people have talked about how, I think everyone here could probably agree that the current U.S. What's the word I'm looking for? Medical system. Quit saying donkeys, damn it. Medical insurance, the insurance system in the U.S. is not great, not by any stretch. And I'm not, I know, right? I'm not advocating saying it's necessarily this way, but a lot of people have pointed out, they're like, well, we can't necessarily do what Europe is doing because it's a factor of scale. And it's like, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, what works good for England is like what works good for one state. It was like, oh yeah, you have to consider that. Like, we kind of got a bunch more people over here, but that is what it is. But I mean, like, I've done small scale business stuff. Like, believe me, like so I used to make the matrix of leadership that's back over there. Yeah.
The matrix leadership. The
matrix of leadership that I made.
Oh, okay. That's like, what are you talking about?
I started off making a small version, and these two guys independently on YouTube bought them from me and did reviews. And quite literally, my phone blew up one night. It was, I think it was right after New Year. So yeah, it would have been several years ago, almost to the day. And my phone just blew up, and I'm just like, Christy, I've got like 24 orders for these. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know what happened. So I literally like messaged the person that bought it. It was like, hi, thanks for buying. Where did you find out about this? And he was like, oh yeah, so-and-so did it on their YouTube channel. I'm like, okay, cool. So sure enough. So anyway, so talking about scale, I immediately had to buy a newer, bigger 3D printer, and I had to start figuring out how much capacity could I do and stuff. So yeah, it's scaling of economy is insane. Where were we going with this? I've completely just jumped the tracks and went,
AI bad, business suck, Trump or
something. Yeah, but no, it's the scale of this is. Oh, that's where we were going, was the scale that they're building out this AI they may be way overshooting it. Like, they may be thinking, well, it's like everything else. Like, we're going to put the internet in everything. Everything doesn't need the internet, guys.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes. The less we have the internet, the better, I really feel. Yeah.
In some cases, yeah. Like, I will say this. Is it nice to be able to pre-warm my oven before I get home? Yeah. But I use that feature once every 6 months, if that. Like, I don't need my microwave and my oven and my especially my refrigerator to fucking have, like, it's a great idea. Like, if you are that anal about taking stuff in and out of your fridge that you're going to be like, okay, I've programmed in my fridge that I have, a gallon of milk that goes bad on this date, and every time I take it out, I'm going to scan it or something and say how much. If that's you, go ahead. but I don't know anyone. Like, I don't know. Like, I fucking have spreadsheets for everything. And even I'm just like, no, that's a bit extreme. Like, your microwave doesn't need, you know.
I remember that Stephen King movie, Maximum Overdrive. And
oh my God, yeah. What did it have? What's his face from Kiss?
Kiss? No. Emilio Estevez was in it.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the movie. My bad.
Maximum Overdrive is where all the machines come to life and start killing people. I was thinking there was a story I saw where this kid was in his mom's car and the computer malfunctioned and it wouldn't let him stop and it kept accelerating. Mm-hmm. And this happened in a flat state, maybe Missouri. I don't remember where exactly, but he couldn't stop the car and they got on the phone with 911 and the cops had to pull up with him going 100 and something miles an hour because he couldn't stop. Thankfully, he was able to keep on a straight road and there was no cross traffic, but he was coming up to an end to that road where it turned into a T and he's going 100 and something miles an hour. His brakes won't work. He can't downshift. He can't turn the car off. And the cops had to literally get in front of him and let him crash into the back of the cop car to stop the car. And this is because the computer malfunctioned. And now the way they make these new cars, you don't have direct access to stuff that you should have direct access to be able to at least stop your effing car, right? Mm-hmm. If you have the internet connected to everything in your house, like your stove and your refrigerator and your heater. And I mean, I'm just saying there's possibilities there that exist that are not ideal, you know, like, you might come home and everybody in the house is dead because, you know, your computer controlled stuff decided to raise the temperature of everything to unlimited amounts, you know? Yeah, anyway.
And last line says, Gene Simmons, you're thinking of Trick or Treat. No, last line. That's not what I was thinking of.
What were you thinking of?
It's hard to see here.
Tom Selleck.
I was thinking of Runaway.
Runaway.
With the fucking robot spiders. That movie messed me up as a kid.
That is, I don't know how good the movie is because I don't really remember it that well.
It's not a good movie.
But when I was a kid, it was awesome.
Oh, yes, it was.
And I thought Gene Simmons was the best villain ever. It's like, he's so evil looking.
Yes, he was. So, yeah, Runaway. Like, I mean, you were right about the other movie, but no, that's not the one I was thinking of. And that was a Michael Crichton movie, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
wow.
But yeah, like that was what I was thinking of at first. And I was just like, yeah, Runaway. I was like, but yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that out as like I said, I'm not sitting here. It's not like I was like, well, I don't know if I agree with Cyrus. I'm gonna have to change his mind on this. That's not why I did this. I was just thinking, like I said, that I've heard some back and forth about, like I said, it was definitely very much like, well, it's going to take over. I don't think there's any stopping it or whatever. And like I said, something about the last 2 weeks, I just kept seeing a bunch of stuff and I'm just like, yeah, it may not be a bunch of Luddites that are just thinking that, oh, it's a bubble. Things aren't going to work out. It's like, no, there's some legitimate questions that need to be asked about, hey, where's all this money coming from? Who's borrowing this money and how are you actually planning on paying it back?
Right.
Because if nothing else, who knows? Like if all it's going to take is one data center to go down and there'll be a shit ton of memory and GPUs and CPUs out there to buy on the cheap. So, or at least that's how they at least get some of their money back. But depending on how long they wait though, if they wait too long, it'd be like 50, 70. No one's using that anymore.
Yeah. But the other problem is they could start flooding the market with like screwed up GPUs that
very true.
People think they're getting a good deal and they burn out on them after like 3 months. Or something.
That is also very true. Because that's the thing. They were talking about the fact that they would burn out. And there was some back and forth on that as to how long it would take them to burn out and everything. And I'm just like, guys, like you can't run something at 100% all of the time. Like, no. I don't care how good you make it. Like nothing is designed to run 100% all of the damn time. So
yeah, Last Line's got a good point. That stuff's not consumer stuff anyway. Like
that is true.
Yeah.
Like they could probably pull the RAM. Like the RAM, I'm sure is probably pretty standard. But yeah, the GPUs, especially if they're not a standard form factor, like if they're building it specifically to like fit in like a server blade, yeah, that ain't gonna fit in your tower.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we lightened things up this time talking about AI.
Well, is there anything else A1 wanted to chat about? I mean, we could wrap it up here pretty quick, but we tend to go about 2 hours on here, and that's all I had. Let me ask you this, Cyrus. I was going to ask you. So it is the new year. It is January 1st. Are you and I'm pretty sure I know the answer on this. Are you a New Year's resolution type guy?
No.
Why is that?
Because I used to try to do that and it never did it doesn't work. So I just don't do that.
Do you remember the year I went off on that and you were just like, wait, what? Do you remember this at all? It was on a show.
I probably will if you start talking about it, but I don't.
I flat out said I thought resolutions were dumb. And the reason why is you should set goals, not resolutions, because resolutions are too nebulous. And my major example of that was what is a common resolution that people have? To lose weight over the next year, right?
Right.
This year, 2026, I'm going to do it. I'm going to lose weight. And so you step on the scale and you weigh 250 pounds. And this, January 1st, 2027 rolls around and you weigh 199 pounds and a half or something. You lost a half a pound over the year. Did you complete your resolution? Technically, yes. But would we really call that a win? Like, would you seriously be like, wow, I lost half a pound over 12 months. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I don't think anyone would necessarily be that way. Like now, if you wanted to say, hey, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. I want to lose 5 pounds this year. That's something you could easily like plan on. Be like, all right, if I lose half a pound a month, I'm already way ahead of myself. Or, you can plan it out that way. So I prefer to look at like goals. Like if you want to set goals or whatever. My problem is the last several years, things keep happening and just completely like going off. It's just like, well, that's not really a goal I want to shoot for anymore. Or this came up, completely destroyed that as a possibility. I take that back. The last one I set wasn't even like a goal, like for a goal for the year. It was more like not like, I guess life goal to say, or maybe even like a lot of people say bucket list, like bucket list type thing. And what was funny was I had decided a few years ago that I wanted to meet 3 individuals in particular because I wanted to tell them thank you for the effect that they've had on my life. And those 3 people were Will Wheaton, which I thought, okay, he's at a lot of cons. I should be able to meet Will Wheaton. That should not be that hard. I wanted to meet Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, because he's getting older. He does do some con stuff, but not a lot anymore. And then the impossible one was meeting Bill Murray. And I thought, okay, bucket list. Eventually, I want to meet these 3 men, tell them thank you for various things. I want to tell Will Wheaton thank you for a show Tabletop on YouTube, because that's what got me back into board games. It helped bring me and my mom and my brother and my dad together to play games. It's helped bring me back together with a lot of other friends to play board games and stuff. Like, I wanted to say thank you for doing that show because it did have a positive impact on my life. I wanted to meet Peter Cullen because he's been my hero since I've been a fucking kid. He's fucking Optimus Prime. Like, I had 2 heroes growing up as a kid, Optimus Prime and my grandfather. And then I wanted to meet Bill Murray, and I didn't get to tell him this. Not that I don't know if I'll necessarily get to, but I did get to meet the man. But I wanted to tell him just thank you for all the work that you've done. Like, yes, I'm dressed as a Ghostbuster most likely, and I'm dressed as a Ghostbuster, but not just for Ghostbusters. Like, just thank you for like bringing as much joy to the world as you fucking have. Because I'll never forget, my grandfather died in 88, 89. And of course, it just devastated my grandmother. And it was sometime after that she was still, she's still down. And we're like, hey, we're going to have grandma over for dinner, and we're just going to order pizza, and we're going to watch a movie and just, kind of see if maybe we can get her in a better mood. So grandma comes over and we order pizza. and we put on What About Bob? And I have never heard that woman laugh as hard or as long ever since then. Since that night, that movie and that night was cathartic for her, and she laughed so hard. And I just wanted to tell him thank you for that. Like that was a memory I will always have. And it's Bill Murray. Like that's so insignificant to him. But anyway, and the stars fucking aligned, and that next year I knocked out all three. I managed to meet all three of those men, or at least over the next year. And I was just like, all right, now what do I do? Like, I was just like, what the hell do I do now? Yeah. Let's see here. Half a pound is taking a decent long piss. Or the other way. You could go the other way. Yeah, that's true. My bucket list is now a fuck it list. Yeah, that could be it too, Luke. Eugene, I'm not stalking. You're on my bucket list. What are you doing? Why are you fumbling the panic button? I must complete the list. Pretty much, RAB, pretty much, What About Bob is an absolute classic. Yes, it is. The only reason I did not decide to show it to my boys earlier is just because of the table scene where he's doing the like, I'm just like, I don't need them doing that shit all the time. So, but do you have anything is there anything that comes to mind that you'd like to try to accomplish this next year? Oh, I know what it was. You already said it this morning. Go ahead and say what it was.
What did I say? I don't remember.
Keep my job.
Oh, yeah. That's my goal. You're right. That's my goal for the year. Stay employed. Yes.
That is a fantastic goal, man.
I don't have a lot of things that I need to have happen that I need to have happen. that if that works, everything else is negotiable.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. I'd like for my cat to live as long as possible, and I'd like to continue to be employed. And as long as those two things happen, like I said, I can work with everything else,
Good deal. Real quick, in the chat, does anyone here have a goal or resolution they'd like to work towards this year? I will point out, and I've seen this multiple times on social media, there's no rule that says your resolution or goal for the year has to be positive. Because it's like, what if my goal is to sow chaos among my friends? I'm just like, all right, if that's your goal, I mean, I guess
my
goal, whatever.
My goal is for that one dude that I don't like to have a heart attack.
I know.
That's terrible. That's a terrible goal. That's not good.
That is a terrible goal. So it's funny. I saw this video and I shared it with a bunch of people. It's these two friends sitting there talking, and the one guy goes, "If you won like the Mega Millions, what would you do with it?" He's like, "Absolutely, I would do everything in my power to convince all of my friends to come live near me. Like, I would buy them houses and make sure they didn't have to work. I just want to be near my friends, and so that we can hang out and just spend time together. That would be my goal." And before the guy can start to say anything else, and he goes, "And if they declined it, I would use everything in my power to ruin their life."
Wow.
So I said that to the Canadians, and I was just like 100%. And Ray writes back, he's like, "Does it have to be the US?" I'm like, dude, if I hit the Mega Millions, whatever, like pick a place, like just whatever. So yeah. Luke's Awakening. I don't make goals. I have enough disappointments as it is. Oh, Luke, that's heartbreaking, man.
I mean, the older we get, the harder it is to have goals, because like you said, sometimes you accomplish certain things and then that's done. And then you're like, well,
what next?
It's not like the second tier. You know what I mean? Like, if you hit your top tier of people you want to meet and talk to, and you do that, it's not like you're like, well, who's under that?
And no, see, that was my next thing. I was just like, okay, well, who else would I kind of really want to go meet? And
if you get to the second tier, you're like, well, that's not really my goal. I mean, that's just like me going, I need something to have a goal for. What is that?
There are some people that have kind of bubbled up, though, that I'm just like, okay, no, I do want to. So like we were talking about with the Canadians, there's one of our favorite authors. In fact, I went ahead. Well, number one, there's two authors I really, well, there's several authors I really like, but I'm going to get to definitely meet one of them this coming year. But there's another one that I would love to meet. I haven't like made plans to try to find out when I can meet him. But it's one of those things. It's like, I would like to meet some people that have written books and stuff like that. I think that's kind of my new thing is like, I want to meet some of these people and get books signed. It's weird to me. Like some people I want to get like pictures with, and there's other people that like, if they're an author, I'd almost rather just like get the autograph. You know what I'm saying? Like I've got Felicia Day's autograph. I've got Will Wheaton's autograph. I probably could have paid to get a picture with them, but I'm just like, no, it's fine. I've met the person. I remember the interaction. It was also, both of them were very nice interactions. But I also have the thing to show for myself that I met the person. That's kind of all I need. But you know, there are other people. It's just like, well, like Bill Murray was like, no, I have to get the picture with Bill Murray. Like, cause it's, you know, there's that famous story of him walking through a restaurant and grabbing someone's French fry and eating it and be like, no one will believe you, and just walks off. And it's just like, yeah, no one's going to believe you because it's so crazy. Did it really happen? Did it not? If you don't have pics or it didn't happen. Remember that one? So, Luke, I'd like to meet King James and get my Bible autographed. I thought for sure you were going to, I was just like, are you a basketball fan? But you went the other way with it. So, So, Basserino, I keep saying my goal is to be a gigolo. This is the wrong group to ask about goals and resolutions.
I mean, I'm sitting here going, dude, I don't have goals. I used to be like, when I was younger, oh, I want to write a book and I want to make a movie and I want to make a game and I want to write a famous song or whatever. I had all these ideas. And then I did a bunch of stuff and I was like, I don't really want to do any of that. Like, so I get to an age where I'm like, I mean, what are my goals? I struggle to find goals for my YouTube channel. How am I going to have goals for my life? Like, I don't know. Like, live, not be in bad health, stay employed, not lose any fingers or toes, keep my eyesight. That's a big one.
That's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want a Twilight Zone situation going on there. I finally have all of the games. I can play all the games, and then you can't see.
And that's the reality of being a game collector. The older you get, the harder it becomes to enjoy the thing that you finally can afford to have as you get old. It's awesome.
Yep. So I made a famous song about video games and so much more. Then he pulled the song. We can only have nice things for so long, Luke. Like, you know this. So
yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to cover before we wrap this thing up?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, even like, what is my goal for this stream? I don't know.
Have fun. I think we accomplished that. We had fun.
All I'm trying to do, Eugene, is hang out with friends, have good experiences, not cause problems, not get into trouble, not be a pain in the ass to other people, doing to others as I would have them do unto me, this sort of thing, and just get through this life without all the aggravation and stuff. Like, the past few years it's been better recently, but there was several years where, things were really bad. And going through really bad times has really made me grateful for just normal day-to-day regular stuff. Yeah. My goals are very simple. I'm just trying to survive and smile sometimes and not be miserable or cause anyone else to be miserable. That's my goals.
Though, and those are fantastic goals. And I'd be willing to say 99.9% of people in the world, essentially that's all they want. They want to live, they want to be happy, they want to be healthy. And if they can, accomplish those two or three things, if they've got kids, usually it's, hey, I want my kids to do better than often I am and for to be happy or whatever. Like, as long as they can accomplish it, there are very few people who are just like power hungry and just are constantly like they have that constant drive to like control other people or to have all of the, I don't need to be rich. I need to be wealthy enough that I can pay my bills and buy a few things here and there that make me happy. Like, I'm not looking to be super rich or whatever. And it's just like, I totally get that. I've been struggling the last few years to kind of set out goals for specific things. And when I do, I'm just like, okay, maybe baby step it. Because like I said, it seems like stuff keeps happening, and, it's not necessarily been bad things. It's just like, something else, another opportunity will come up and just be like, well, no, I probably should chase this instead of that. So, like, for example, this whole thing with the streaming, like, this was not on my roadmap for this year at all. I did not a picture, hey, I'm going to get back to streaming the shows and doing live streams with science, stuff like that. But I'm so glad that it did. And I'm so glad I was open to doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I'm glad you said that. And Rab makes a good point. So I feel like this is true for me. I'm at a good point in my life where things are going pretty well. I think I'm at my goal. And so it's hard for me to have, I don't have it to have, I honestly feel like if I'm trying to think of stuff that I want beyond where I'm at, that's kind of selfish, because I feel good about, I'm doing okay. Things are good now. They're better. Life is stable. There's plenty of great moments, and I'm not suffering too much. I've figured out a way to pay my bills without having to sell everything I own. I'm surviving, and I'm okay. I'm good. I don't need a bunch of other goals,
fair enough.
And so that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Yeah. Rab's got a good point. Luke, Pinky and the Brain taught me not to set goals because they were never able to take over the world. That's true. That's true. I guess instead of being the Roadrunner, or instead of being the Coyote, maybe you should just be the Roadrunner and just be like, cool, food.
Can you imagine how horrible it would be to take over the world and have to deal with this whole...
God, no. Instant supervillain. I would instantly become a supervillain, because it'd just be like, look, we're trying to save you. Fucking be saved. What, can you not be happy being saved? So
just the sheer complexity of madness. Forget it. No.
And see, that was an interesting storyline for that was an interesting pseudo Superman storyline for a long time, and now we've overdone it. Now we've done the what if Superman was evil story to death, but yeah, like when that first idea came out, it was just like, what if Superman had it? What if he was tired of our shit? It's just like, oh, that would be bad. If Superman got tired of our shit, that would be bad. So
Luke,
we have Thanos snapped a long time ago. Oh, fair enough. Now, do keep in mind, Luke, that I'm going to be a little nerdy here. If you did decrease the world population by half, it only sets us back to about 1975. So it would only take us about 50 years to get back to where we're at. So,
yeah, but we would have at least 20 years of really cool shit.
Who's making the shit? What if they snapped away the entire team? Like all of a sudden,
all right, never mind. I'm just thinking 1975 to 95. That sounds pretty awesome. Sorry, you're right.
Oh, so you're going with the Matrix theory. The whole thing is just like the world basically ended in 1999, and that was the epitome of humanity. And a lot of people look back and they're just like, really wasn't that bad.
I think it was kind of.
Selective snapping. That's not how that works, Luke. I mean, I guess it could. You've got the Infinity Gauntlet, but it looked like it hurt a lot. Like, I think I'd want to get it a one and done type situation. So that'd be a long ass list. Be like him, but not him. Oh, but no, maybe he's all right. Maybe not.
It's too much.
Too much stuff. So yeah. Who the hell would want to take over the world? Fuck that.
I want to get away from the world. I want to my dream. You talk about a goal. Here's a goal. Live off and by myself, either on an island or in the wilderness or on a boat, on one of those big boats, like in a bay somewhere where you don't have to worry too much about the waves and weather and shit. Like, my goal is to, I mean, it's not a goal. I'm not really going to do this, but it's like a dream I have to I watch all these videos on YouTube of people that make their own cabin out in the woods. And then I'm like, yes, and set up all my games in there. And I have solar panels and everybody can go to hell and I'll live out by myself. Me and my cat.
Size goal is fucking zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. There's a certain appeal to that whole, into the world.
And until you're like, damn it, I have to go fucking hunt again. Fuck this.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I don't want to kill animals, so that's the problem.
Well,
yeah.
that would be a problem. Yeah, so I guess you're going vegetarian, and now you're just.
I know. That's the downside. Is like I don't want to kill animals, so I guess I'm gonna have to have a big garden, and hopefully, maybe I can do eggs, get some chickens, and do eggs, and figure that out. There's a lot of moving parts.
There's a lot of moving parts in this story.
Yes.
So like Narrowway Homestead, I'm not sure what that is. So
sounds good. I don't know nothing about it. Sounds good.
May have to look it up. All right, I guess let's go ahead and move on into our social media stuff here. Where's that? It's not coming up. Why is it not coming up? Oh, you stupid scroll wheel. There it is. Okay, there we go. All right. So where can we find you, Cyrus?
Super Mega Graphics 64, Super Mega Graphics 64 Plus.
Hell yeah.
Which I actually have been doing a lot of content on the Plus channel.
Of course you have. And of course I took that link off of here because you told me don't bother with it. You're never going to do anything with it. Damn you. So,
it's funny. I really shouldn't have another channel. There's really no reason for me to, but I like it. I like having
dude, you do you, man. Like it's fine. Like it is. What's funny is I didn't even realize you were doing it on the other channel. I was just like, oh, Si's back to doing like videos instead of live streams. And then you pointed it out at the end of the stream. And I was just like, okay, this is Plus, isn't it? Okay, well, whatever. So, but I don't care.
Exactly.
Buddy Cyrus put out a video. I'm going to watch it. Okay, cool.
It should just all be on my regular channel. I don't know why I have it on second channel. It's weird.
Because you like to have things like I do. It's funny that you would think I would be the one with like multiple channels. I'd have each show on its own channel and everything else. And yet I'm just like, nope, shovel it all on the big one. So,
and that's really what you should do. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's all good. As long as you're able to if you want to monetize, as long as you're hitting the level you can monetize and you're able to do it, great. I'm still trying to build to that point, which by the way, subscriptions are back, huh?
Mm-hmm. That was an interesting situation.
Yeah.
So I brought everything back and I thought I had disabled gifting to where you couldn't gift memberships. And people started gifting memberships on the stream. And I was like, what the hell? And I apparently, I don't know how to disable it. So I was just like, all right, whatever. So it's all just active now. And if there is a problem, then I'll deal with it when it happens.
Right.
But it's been pretty good. I've been trying to keep regular, like member content up there. And I have a Saturday we're going to start a show that's like member invite for like participation, like members panel kind of show. It's not a members only show. It's members participation. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to try some different stuff on the channel and just have some fun with it. So we'll see what happens.
Which I don't know if it was just the one video or if this is a common thing and I didn't know about this. I do pay for YouTube Premium. But the videos that you put out for just members only, I have to keep the screen going on my phone. I can't just have it go dark and have it keep playing. It will not do it for that stuff, which I thought was odd. I was like, that would be the one thing I would definitely expect to work, but it is what it is. Maybe it was just that one video. I don't know. I just thought it was weird because I I'll hit play and then I close my phone, put it in my pocket and keep listening, and it kept shutting off. I was just like, the hell, can I not listen to this video that he did? I was like, okay, so I just left it on and kept going, but I just thought it was weird that it did that. So anyway, as always, you can find me at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, pretty much just Instagram. I don't really post to Facebook anymore. So yeah, just find me on Instagram. And honestly, it's mostly just stuff that I'm reposting from the show. Usually it's reels and shit that I'm pulling in from different things that we're doing. So personal stuff, I don't know. I just haven't felt the need to share that stuff. I share all that shit on the shows. You know what I'm saying? Let's just why repost it there? Unless it's specific pictures, but it is what it is. So yeah, let's see here. Inspired by Psy, decided to play Ridge Racer 64. Had no clue how to play the game. Didn't realize the drifting was that vital. Yeah, I've never played that one. So
well, I was talking about this on my stream that I did yesterday, I was talking about you, Luke, if you haven't watched it. And I was saying I felt bad because I know Luke doesn't have a tremendous amount of experience with Ridge Racer. And the series doesn't handle like a regular racing game. It has a specific type of control that you are supposed to, the way you hit the gas and spurts, and then the way you let off for a certain time when you do your drifting and stuff. Ridge Racer is a very interesting series. And if you're not real experienced with it, it's going to be pretty frustrating. Ridge Racer 64 is on the Switch Online service now, Eugene. So it's definitely a game that I think is worth playing, and people, pretty much anybody that has a Switch Online service can give it a shot. But yeah, you gotta it takes some experience and some time to get a feel for that. Beautiful game, by the way. Yeah.
Fair enough.
You're all right.
Choked.
You're dying over there.
I got choked. I don't know what happened. What's worse?
I thought you're trying to rush me off. You're like, come on.
No, and
We get it.
It doesn't help that I don't have anything to drink either. So this is gonna suck. All right, so let's run in the chat. Let's thank the chat. Luke's Awakening. Thanks for being here, Basserino. Retro Advisory Board. Let's see, Basserino, Luke's Awakening. The Last Line was here between you. Retro Bro was here. My boy jumped on for a few seconds. I think that's about everyone. Yeah. Drunky Cheese was here at the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Drunky Cheese was here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we had quite a few people jump in. So, well, thank you to everyone who did jump in. If I missed your name, my apologies. We'll work on it to try to get better about that. But thanks for joining us for the show. Probably be back next week, depending on this is kind of a dead area. So who knows if there's any news or not? Who knows? Maybe next week we'll just come back and play some games or something. So we'll see. So I'm trying to be a little more go with the flow, which Cy knows is not normally me. So
it's not. No.
At least not. It didn't used to be, but it is. I'm getting.
Eugene used to have pages of notes when we would do a show. We had like pages of notes. We had spreadsheets. We had like tabs, different tabs. I'm not making this up.
No, I mean look at that. Like this. This is restrained for me, guys. Like just having this is restrained. So, but I'm not apologizing. I am who I am. So.
No, I appreciate that you're like that. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you very much.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later, guys. Bye. Make sure to check out epicallygeeky.com, where you can find all of the shows that we do, including the Epically Geeky Show, Marginally Geeky Book Club, Creatively Geeky, Sustainably Geeky, EG Live, and EG Gaming. But before you do, make sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. And if you're a person with a human-style body, why not head over to our TeePublic store and grab a t-shirt, hat, shorts, or whatever else they sell to cover that body. You can find the link in the show notes. And thanks for supporting us here at Epically Geeky. See you next time.
What's the twist? What's the score?